So you draw a line anywhere above the vent. Cut it out and you open the center back. About 1 centimeter would be enough. So you didn't change the princess seam length. Nothing changed on the hem and vent shape. You just lengthened the center back. So this is going to be the final back lining shape. Hi, I'm Jin. Welcome to Pant Studio 101. Today, we're continuing with this blazer. The 6-piece double-breasted blazer we drafted from scratch in the previous lesson. We already completed the self body. I haven't made the sleeve pattern yet because I have several videos covering 2-piece sleeve pattern making, so I didn't want to repeat that. But if you'd like me to do the sleeve specifically for this blazer, just let me know in the comment. Today, we're moving on to facings and lining. For a tailored garment like this, they really matter. The facing controls how the lapel rolls and how the front edge behaves. And the lining covers all the internal seam allowances and gives the garment a clean, finished interior. Getting these patterns right is the big part of what makes the whole thing work properly. Okay, let's open the pattern to get started. Okay, these are the self pattern pieces we drafted. I'm going to remove the base frame so you see more clear. So start with the front facing. This is a double-breasted blazer, and these two are the functional buttons. I want to make the front facing wide enough to cover these two buttons. So depending on the width of your overlap, the facing width can be different. So for this example, I drew a line just 1 centimeter above this button placement. At the shoulder, I marked 3.5 centimeter. You know, this is not the fixed rule. You can draw the line you want. Even if this is how I make the blazer facing in general, if the fabric is very thick for winter, for example, I might make the facing width narrower because it's going to be too bulky. Other than that, I would like the facing cover the button placement. Then this is going to be the front facing, right? Keep the break point the same, front body and front facing. Cut out slightly at the center front. It's like 2-3 millimeters, depending on the fabric thickness, but 2-3 millimeter would be enough. And lengthen the seam where the facing and lining meet. It's about 5 millimeter. If you make this facing length exactly the same as the front, you might be experiencing the blazer hem is poking up a little bit. So it's good to have some ease to the length. For the lapel area, the facing should be slightly wider than the front, so you don't see the seams from the outside. Neckline can be the same as the front, and the shoulder might be the same. If you're going to have a shoulder pad, and this can be a little bit lower. But for now, let's just leave it. For the front lining, you can copy the rest, except the facing area. I don't want to make a dart on the lining, so either I just keep it as it is, so the lining waist will be 1 centimeter bigger than the self, or you can cut off slightly from the seam. It doesn't have to be full amount same as the dart, because lining should be a little bit bigger than the self for the blazers. For the armhole, if you don't use the shoulder pad, just leave it as it is. If you want to have the shoulder pad, depending on the thickness of the shoulder pad, you want to make a little bit of gap between self and lining. This gap doesn't have to be the same as the shoulder pad thickness. It can be just half amount. So if your shoulder pad is, let's say, 1 centimeter, this gap can be 0.5 centimeter. The underarm point should be higher than the self, about like 1 centimeter. So this is going to be the front facing and the lining. For the side body, the shape can be the same as the self, only the underarm curve is 1 centimeter higher than the self. You need this height difference because of the self seam allowance. Okay, for the back, let's make the facing. You measure the facing width at the shoulder on the front. So I made this 3.5 centimeter. So the same 3.5 centimeter. 7 centimeter at the center back. Again, this is not the fixed rule. It just should be wider than the label you want to stitch on. So this is going to be the back neck facing. And the rest will be lining. And same, the underarm should be higher than the self. If you make the shoulder angle lower than the self because of the shoulder pad, do the same to the back. To give the room for movement to the crossback area, we're going to make a pleat at the center back. So I made the width 2 centimeter. So you can make it between 2 and 3 centimeter. And this pleat will end at the waist. For the vent, you have to have 2 different shapes for the left side and the right side. So you're going to copy the back lining and flip it. So you have separate pieces for the left side and the right side. Let's say you're going to make a vent like this. Left side up. Then upper side, we're going to fold the vent like this. So we need to cut out the lining with this vent shape. So where's left side is this one. This is going to be where's right side. So you cut out the vent like this. And one more thing, we need to lengthen the center back length above the vent. Of course, you need to do on both the back lining pattern, but I'm going to show you with this panel. So you draw a line anywhere above the vent. Cut it out and you open the center back. About 1 centimeter would be enough. So you didn't change the princess seam length. Nothing changed on the hem and vent shape. You just lengthen the center back. So this is going to be the final back lining shape. If you have any questions, comment below. Have a great week. See you next time. If you want a more structured way to follow along, I've created a technical library based on all my YouTube lessons. Each video comes with a PDF version, so you can build your own pattern making reference library over time. Visit my website, patternstudio101.com, and become a member. You will receive the written instructions each week, so you can follow everything more clearly. The link is below this video.